The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and/or future. Well, happy Sunday afternoon to you all. My name is Ron Juckett. This is Retro Sports Network, and today it's the semifinal round, or at least the first semifinal game of that 60s tournament presented by Kurt Berglund, helper of Pine Tar Baseball. You can go visit Pine Tar Baseball. He'll tell you where to go visit Pine Tar Baseball. Him and James Forbo are the big ones for that. And today we have a good one for you. The National League Final. After two National League games, none of the higher seeds have won a game yet. You see the number 4 seed Cincinnati Reds from 1965, who can pretty much overpowered the San Francisco Giants, and the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1960, who beat Sandy Koufax. And if you can beat Sandy Koufax, you can beat a lot of players, or a lot of teams, or a lot of pitchers, regardless of which they win. Doubleheader day today on this channel. Join us tonight around hopefully 8 o'clock for a very, very special event. It might involve body painting. I'm not sure. There's no body painting. But to the task at hand, it's the Reds and the Pirates. And the Reds, in the mid-60s, when only one team made the playoffs per league, the Reds' offense is certainly playoff powerful. We think that Joe Nuxhall is going to be good on the mound. The crafty lefty, at the end of his career, will get the start for the Reds. And you know about the Pirates, Bill Mazeroski is a household voodoo doll, at least in the state of New York, but Roberto Clemente and all that too. And so with the lefty Nuxhall going, Pittsburgh is going with Hal Smith at behind the plate and Gino Cimoli in center as they do platoon. Beautiful afternoon at Pittsburgh, 76 degrees. Wind is blowing in 13 miles an hour from the left. You might even get to hear the end of Ben Roethlisberger's career. Just kidding. All right, let's get to it. Let's play some baseball on this Sunday afternoon. And as we take you to the field, as Bob Friend takes his warm-up tosses, Kurt Berglund, glad you're feeling better. How you doing, John? Braves for life. Nice to have you along on this Sunday afternoon. Let's tell you about Bob Friend. 18-12 in 1960 with one save and an ERA of 3 flat. It's a nice GPA to have. I never had that in college. 275. Alba, I'm not playing you. You've played fluid for 3 weeks. 275 and 2/3 innings, 266 hits, 18 homers allowed. He walked 45 and struck out 183. The lineup he'll face for the hard-hitting Cincinnati Reds, kind of the precursor to the Big Red Machine, the medium Toyota Compact Big Red Machine. Tommy Harper is in left. He'll lead off. Pete Rowe is at second. Will bat second. Frank Robinson in right. Will bat third. Johnson, the third baseman, will go fourth. Vada Pinson, I never get that right. Center field will bat fifth. Gordy Coleman at first. He'll bat sixth. Leo Cardenas, or Jose Cardenas, the shortstop, will bat seventh. Johnny Edwards, I wish I had his hair, behind the plate, batting eighth. And Joe Nuxhall, Marty Brenneman, watching in happy anticipation, on the mound, will bat ninth. Defensively for the Pirates, Skinner a 5 and a 5 in left, Gino Cimoli a 5 and a 9 in center, and of course Roberto Clemente an 8, and well, let's face it, he's a 15 arm in right field. The game only goes to 10. Hoke is a 6 at third as we look at the infield. Dick Grote is a 7 at short, Bill Mazeroski a 10 at second, and Dick Stewart a 4 at first. Hal Smith, getting a second game in a row as a left-hander thrown at Pittsburgh, a 7 and a 5 behind the plate, and Bob is a friend of his own friend, on the mound with a 7 range. And so Tommy Harper went 2 for 5 against the Giants with a solo homer, 257, 18 homers, and 64 RBI on the 65 season. Bob Friend is a tough customer, but this Red team just shredded the San Francisco Giants. So Friend delivers, and Harper slashes that one up the middle for a single. And that's how this one starts. He may be a tough customer, but as I said, this is a medium 4-engine machine for Cincinnati. Pete Rose 1 for 4 with a walk and 2 runs scored against the Giants. 312, 11 homers, and 81 RBI. Overall, Harper not going to steal. Pitch to Friend. And Rose will drop one down as Smith's only play is to first, and Mazeroski's there. So Rose with the sacrifice, and that'll bring up Frank Robinson, who went 1 for 4 against the Giants with a solo shot and 2 runs scored. 296, 33 homers, and 113 RBI in 65. Friend has only thrown 2 pitches. Harper is on second. 1 out. Just the start of things here at Forbes. Pitch from Friend, and Robinson strikes out. A full count. He watched for strike 3. So Friend takes a deep breath for Deron Johnson. 287, 32 homers, 130 RBI. The Giants held them to 2 strikeouts and an 0 for 4 effort. Friend deals. Johnson, ground ball to Mazeroski. Hoover picks it up over to Stewart, and that will retire the side. The Reds strand 1. No runs, a hit, no errors. Half an inning in the books. Cincinnati nothing. Here come the Pirates. What a young picture of Joe Nuxhall. He was 15 when he first started, and that may be from when he was 15. One of the war baby pitchers, and we do mean war baby. He eventually would serve in the armed forces and come back. He had the lowest whip of a starter, which is why he is starting this game. But look at the record, 11-4 and 2 saves, a 3.45 ERA, 148 and 2/3 innings, 142 hits, 18 homers, 31 walks, and 117 strikeouts, and a whip of 1.164. And if the Reds go to a best-of-3 final, this would be Nuxhall's only appearance anyway. Lineup he'll face Skinner. Bob Skinner is the only lefty in the lineup. He'll lead off and play left. Grote, the shortstop, will bat second. Stewart, the first baseman, bats third. Clemente, the right fielder, cleans up. Hoke at third will bat fifth. Samoli, the center fielder, bats sixth. Hal Smith, the catcher, will bat seventh. Mazeroski will bat eighth. And Bob Friend, who threw 10 pitches in his half of the first, will bat ninth. Defensively for the Redlegs, Tommy Harper a 5 and a 4 in left. Pinson is a 7 and 7 in center. And remember, even with the clock change, it's still too early for your daily 7 and 7. But if you do, remember, Seagram 7 is the way to go. Frank Robinson is a 6 and a 7 in right. You got to serve 7 up with that. Sprite just won't do. Deron Johnson is a 4 at third. Cardenas is a 10 at short. Rose a 5 at second. And Gordy Coleman back in the lineup today with a righty on the mound is a 4 at first. And so is Johnny Edwards, an 8 and a 7 behind the plate. Nuxhall does not possess the world's greatest range. He's a 3 on the mound. Skinner went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts against Koufax and company. 273, 15 homers, and 86 RBI. How you doing, Larry Harris? Nice to have you along. That infield looks a little dusty. Don't know when this picture was taken. Obviously before the summer of 1970. But yes, it is not the prettiest, greenest grass infield you'll ever see. And then on the left side there, you'll see Vince Coleman's best friend, the automatic tarp machine. And I don't know why that was held. Dr. Strangeglove Stewart for first at the Buccos. I'm not sure when Hutchinson passed away. So, alrighty. We are set. And Nuxhall and the Knuckler are ready. And Pittsburgh, Skinner will fly this one into center. Pinson in, it comes into right center. 1 away. Brings up Dick Grote, 0 for 4 against the Dodgers in 325, 2 homers, and 50 RBI. Nuxie delivers, ball 4. Forbes Field is the first Major League Park, or was the first Major League Park that was primarily steel construction. And now that you've learned something today, built in 1909, you can go back to bed. Or just go grab yourself another 7 and 7. And remember, not Sprite. It's got to be 7-Up. Stewart, 1 for 4 against the Dodgers, a single and grounded into a double play. 260, 23 homers, and 83 RBI. Pitch to Stewart, ball 4. And so Nuxhall has walked 2 here in the inning. And you really don't want to face Roberto Clemente with runners in scoring position. 2 for 4 in the opener with 2 runs scored. 314, 16 homers, and 94 RBI. Yep. Viceroy cigarettes and Ballantine beer. Am I right? Pitch to Clemente, and there's a fly ball to left. Harper will go back, and he will turn and watch it hit the top of the wall. Grote will score. Here comes Stewart. Clemente has a double, and the Pirates lead it 2-0. And those old games are great. But let's first talk about Clemente. Got a pitch to hit, and so much for that whip being good. 2-0 Pirates. Kurt's talking about that classic baseball channel when somebody made a lot of air checks of New York Mets games from 1962 that aired on WGY out of Schenectady. Sportsman Z probably knows about that if he's going to listen to this at some point. And that was their sponsor, Viceroy Cigarettes and Ballantine Beer, as the Mets fumbled and stumbled through their opening season at the Polo Grounds. Don Hoke did not stumble through the Dodgers, 1 for 3. A walk, a single, and a run scored. 282, 16 homers, and 79 RBI, as the Pirates have 2 on the board here in the first. Nuxhall delivers, and there's a ground ball to Johnson. Over to Coleman for the out. I don't know. I never smoked. Do they still make Viceroys? Gino Somoli went 3 for 4 against Sandy Koufax and Company and got an RBI triple out of the deal. 267 and no homers, but 28 RBI. 2 out. Clemente on second. Nuxhall deals, and Somoli high grounder to Coleman, who takes it to the bag himself to retire the side. But Ariba with a 2-run stubble puts the Pirates on the board. 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 1, Pittsburgh 2, Cincinnati nothing. It'll be Pinson, Coleman, and Cardenas for the Reds in the second. Vada 3 for 5 against the Giants. 3 singles, 2 RBI. 305, 22 homers, 10 triples, and 94 RBI. Friend delivers, and Pinson, sharp grounded to Stewart, takes it to the bag himself for the out. Gordy Coleman, who went 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. 302, 14 homers, and 57 RBI. 1 out, top the second, 2-0 Pirates. Friend delivers, and Coleman slaps that one into left center field for a single, and that's the second hit. And Coleman has me speed. He's a 1 at first. And Leo Cardenas is at the plate. Went 1 for 4 with a solo shot against the Giants. 287, 11 homers, and 57 RBI in 65. Friend deals. Cardenas. Ground ball to Grote. Should be 2. Mazeroski for 1. Nope. Coleman with the roll block slot. Nope, no throw. There was just no throw, and Cardenas beat it out. So the fielder's choice goes 6-4, and that'll bring up Johnny Edwards. 267, 17 homers, and 51 RBI as a platoon for the Reds. Friend delivers, and Edwards hits a ground ball to Stewart. Shaky, but takes the ball to first himself, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. Inning and a half in the books. Pittsburgh 2, Cincinnati nothing. So it'll be Smith, Mazeroski, and Friend, who's gone through 2 innings on 20 pitches. Nuxhall had 22 in the first. Smith 1 for 4, a homer and 2 RBI against the Dodgers. 295, 11 homers and 45 RBI on the regular season. Pitch from Nuxhall is a base hit left field. Cardenas didn't even get over there. And there's a nobody out single for Mazeroski. That would be a leadoff single run. Maz went 0 for 4 with the strikeout. 273. If you're thinking that homer against the Yankees was a fluke, it was not. 11 on the regular season and 64 RBI. Second hit given up by Nuxhall, who struggled with his control in the first. Joe's pitch, ground ball to Johnson. Rose for 1, no throw to first, so they're saying that's Cardenas. That's a ground ball to third. So they get the force at second, 5-4, and Friend, who hit a whopping 0-68 with 3 RBI, is going to drop one down here. Johnson and Coleman come in to have a conversation. Winds blowing left to right at 15, 76 degrees. Pitch from Nuxhall is bunted down. Johnson comes in. His only play is to first. Rose covering for the out. So Mazeroski moves to second. 2 out for Bob Skinner. 9 batters in the books for Joe Nuxhall. 31 pitches. That's actually not bad. That inning and 2/3, however, is not great. 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 runs, both earned. Played me a Stratomatic game this morning, Mr. Harris. Hit 68 Twins with Dean Chance and 68 Tigers with Mickey Lolich. 3 hits each team, but the Twins' hits were solo homers to win 3-0. Chance struck out 9, I believe Lolich struck out 10. That's a good game. Pitch to Skinner. Got him! First strikeout for Nuxhall. Right down Broadway, and Nuxhall says thank you. He looked at it like a barn on the side of the road. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 2, Pittsburgh 2, Cincinnati nothing. So Nuxie, who's a decent hitter, and I use that term loosely, 178, no homers and 3 RBI, will face Friend and then Harper and Rose to follow. Bob deals. Ground ball to Mazeroski deep in the hole over to first for the out. 1 away. For Tommy Harper, Friend through 9 batters has only thrown 21 pitches. That's efficient. 2 in the 3rd innings, 2 hits, no runs, and a strikeout. Harper singled to start the ballgame. Friend deals. Got him! He chased a 1-2 breaking ball out of the zone, and that's 2 out. So as Kurt Berglund said at the start of the game, Bob Friend is one tough customer. And the Pirates have a friend in Bob. Pete Rose sack bunted his first time up. Friend's pitch, and there's a ground ball to Mazeroski over to Stewart, and that will retire the side. So Friend is doing his job. He's gone 31 pitches in 3 innings. How about that? We've played 2.5, 2-0 Pittsburgh. It'll be look at the right side, Ronnie. Grote, Stewart, and Clemente. Grote reached on a walk. Nuxhall settling in, 39 through 2. And there's a little chopper down to Johnson that's going to roll foul. So the count remains full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nuxhall has walked 2 and struck out 1. He walked 31 in 148 and 2/3 innings in 65. And he's walked 3 a day, ball 4. Not what he needed. That was high and away, and that'll bring up Stewart, who walked and scored. Clemente on deck. He drove in both runs on a double. Nuxhall delivers, and there's a ground ball up the middle, snared by Cardenas. Rose for 1, over to Coleman. Did they turn it? Did they turn it? Yes, they did. 6-4-3. Cardenas deep in the hole. In fact, he was on the grass. An underarm flip to Rose and a strike to Coleman for 2 out. And Nuxhall just turns and tips his cap to Leo and says, "Gracias, amigo," in his Midwestern accent. Here's Clemente, his double. Made it 2-0 in the first. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Nuxhall delivers, and there's a base hit up the middle, so Clemente will go 2 for 2. For Don Hoke, who's 0 for 1. So that big double play as Roberto is in fuego right now. Pitch to Hoke. There's a sharp little ground ball to first. Coleman flips it over to Nuxhall covering, and that should and will retire the side. The Pirates put a couple on, but they don't do anything with it. Double play really helped. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 3, Pittsburgh 2, Cincinnati nothing. And Mr. Friend will face Frank Robinson, Johnson, and Pinson here in the 4th. Robbie struck out his first time up. Second time in this tournament he's done so. Sharp grounder to third. Hoke, long throw across to Stewart. 1 away. So Johnson is 0 for 1. Clemente now hitting .667 in the tournament. 2 for 2 today. Johnson's 0 for 1. Into center, Samoli has that track down 2 away. In fact, he had to make a good play to get it. And the wind kind of hooked that around. It's now blowing in from 15 from left field, and Samoli had to retrace his steps to go get it. So 2 out for Pinson, who was 0 for 1. Friend could pitch about 14 innings at this pace. And there's a chopper into left field. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Pinson's taken for 3, and he's got it. So Skinner had to wait for that to bounce off the ivy and to him, and Pinson with good speed was just chugging around second. And the Reds have a runner on third and 2 out for Gordy Coleman, who singled his first time up. Friend is not my friend. He won't give up any hits. 50s would be interesting. I'd love to see somebody just pick 8, a random thing of 8 teams, too. Pitch to Coleman is a pop-up into center field. Samoli has a good beat on that, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hit, or 1 hit and no errors. 3.5 down. Pirates still lead it 2-0. So Samoli, Smith, Mazeroski. How you doing, Mr. Mike? Due up for the Pirates here in the 4th. Clemente's 2-run double in the first has been all the offense the Pirates needed. Samoli, and that's in the right field. Robinson coming in and makes the catch for the out. Hal Smith 1 for 1. Hal singled his first time up. Nuxhall deals. And there is the one that's going to go foul. Somebody from Louisiana State University, or Louisiana Tech, made that catch. Got the name of Starbuck on the back of his shirt. Wonder who that is. Count as a ball and 2 strikes to Hal. Nuxhall delivers. Got him! He looked at one and right at the knees, and some cheese at 85, and there's 2 outs for Mazeroski. Second strikeout for Nuxhall. Maz is 0 for 1. Nuxhall deals, and there's a liner into left center field. Pinson got a late jump on it. He's going for 3. The throw to third is not in time. So Mazeroski with a 2-out triple. That's the 4th hit for Pittsburgh. And here comes Friend, who's luckily for Nuxhall has to swing here. So 2 out, no runner on third, bottom of the 4th, 2-0 Pirates. Nuxhall's pitch, and there's a fly ball to left. Harper will come in to make the catch to retire the side. Runner gets left on third, no runs, a hit, and no errors. We've played 4 at Forbes, 2-0 Pirates. Oh, okay. Mr. Mike just started his Strat 30 team best of from each franchise, doing it slow and be putting a game on his channel during the winter. Larry Harris has a friend of his that has a daughter going to Louisiana Tech on the bowling scholarship. Women's college bowling is intense, and I say that in the most competitive way possible. I was watching some of that this winter. I like bowling. That was awesome. She's a freshman this year. Well, Leo Cardenas, look at the left side, Ron. Johnny Edwards and Joe Nuxhall to bat here in the fifth off a friend who's only throwing 10 pitches an inning. Cardenas is 0 for 1. Friend's pitch. Got him. A 1-2 strike 3 count. He looked at it, and that's 3 for Friend. Here is Edwards, and Johnny's 0 for 1. Terry Bradshaw was the joke, but I think so. I think you're right, Carl Malone. Pitch to Edwards. Ground ball up the middle. Grote in the hole over to Stewart for the out. Larry Harris still bowls 215, 220. That's awesome. Joe Nuxhall is 0 for 1. I can't imagine the computer's going to pinch hit for him here. Too early. 2 out, top the fifth. 2-0 Pittsburgh. And Nuxhall hits a ground ball of Grote on a slow bounder over to Stewart, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Halfway home in the National League Championship game. 2-0 Pirates. So let's take a look at the in-game box score. Presented by Pine Tar Baseball. Bob Friend, 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 strikeouts, and everything else is a bagel. Get your smear of cream cheese today. Joe Nuxhall has not pitched great, but not pitched poorly. 4 innings, 4 hits. The one bad pitch to Clemente hurt. He has walked 3 and struck out 2. And so let's give away the batting thing. Singletons by Harper, Pinson, and Coleman for the Reds, and Clemente is 2 for 2. Mr. Bob Skinner, who leading off, is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Nuxhall through 68 pitches, 18 batters, 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Pitched better the second time through the lineup and got some help on a double play in the third. Got him! How about that? He swung right through a 3-2 knuckler, or who knows what that is. So 1 out for Grote, who has walked twice and scored once. That came in the first. Nuxhall delivers, and there's a ground ball to Rose. Has to come in, flips it over to Coleman for the second out. That's your average for 10 games. I bowled with a ramp once and actually could bowl 100. So that's my average, and I'm sticking to it. Dick Stewart has walked and scored. He's 0 for 1. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Nuxhall has settled in. He needs his team to start hitting, though. Stewart in the left. Harper in the corner. Makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We played 5 at Forbes. 2-0 Pirates. So top of the lineup to face Friend here in the 6th. And the Pirates have a Friend in Bobby for sure. 18 batters, 56 pitches, 5 innings, 3 hits, and 3 strikeouts. Harper 1 for 2. He is singled and struck out. Rose and Robinson here in the 6th to follow. Harper strikes out again. He watched a 2-2 fastball for strike 3. And so Friend has 4 in the K column. And now bring up Pete. Rose sack bunt in the first, 0 for 1. Friend is cruising right along. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for Cincinnati. 3 left on base. The Pirates with their Captain Crunch logo, 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors, and they have left 4 on so far. Pitch to Rose is a little looper up the middle. Grote with a diving stop from his knees throws to Stewart for the out. So Friend tips the cap, and 2 out for Robinson, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. So I thought the Reds would continue to tear it up, but Bob Friend has done his job in spades so far. Pitch to Robinson is the middle. Samoli lined up for it and will make the catch. No runs, no hits, no errors. 5.5 down. 2-0 Pittsburgh. And a standing ovation for Clemente, who is 2 for 2. He is singled and doubled and driven in 2. I'm not sure of the whole in the tournament or the decade for Friend as a top 15 pitcher. I don't think so. I mean, you got Marichal and Perry in San Francisco. I think you would take Jenkins at the end of the decade for Chicago. Seaver by 69 was a pretty good pitcher. No, I don't think you could. I mean, Whitey Ford was still pretty good. I'd have to look at it. I'm sure you could break down the ERA plus by decade, and I'd be curious of where he would go. That's my judge of OPS plus and ERA plus, because you're going against your peers. You're not necessarily going against history. Clemente singled and doubled. Nuxhall delivers, and there's a fly ball on the left. Harper should corral this one. That wind is going from left to right now at 13. Harper taken back to the scoreboard, but he makes the catch one away. Don Hoke is 0 for 2. Yeah, for the decade, I'm not sure he does. I think if anyone has access to the play index and Baseball Reference, I'd be curious to see where his ERA plus is for the decade. Don Hoke is 0 for 2. That's a mighty good pitcher. I mean, we're not even talking Gibson. Ralph Terry. I don't know what his record was for the decade. Can't open that up right now anyway. Anyway, Hoke is 0 for 2. Nuxhall delivers. Struck him out. So 2 out for Samoli as Hoke was swinging at the knee cheese on a 1-2 pitch. That's 4 for Joe. Samoli's 0 for 2. So after that rough first inning, Nuxhall has done his job in spades. Pitch to Gino. Into left field, Harper into foul territory, over the wall, makes the catch in foul ground. Wowzers, no runs, no hits, and no errors. After 6, Pittsburgh 2, Cincinnati nothing. And so it'll be Johnson, Pinson, and Coleman for the Reds here in the 7th. Lolich, I think, would go in. Johnson, as I said, is 0 for 2. McLean with the Tigers was very good. Pitch to Duran is a fly ball into left center. Samoli 1 out. And Friend is just cruising right along like he's on a yacht with Smokey Robinson playing. Pinson is 1 for 2. He was stranded on third with a 2-out triple. Yep, Gibson, absolutely. Pitch to Pinson, ball 4. So Friend, now that we're talking about him, gives up his first walk. 1 out, Gordy Coleman, 1 for 2 with a single. Cardenas to follow on Edwards if the inning is extended. Pitch to Gordy, gets away from Smith. They're going to try it to throw down to Grote, and Pinson is in there. So Hal Smith boxed that around. It goes as a passed ball, and the Reds, with a 2-1 count, have a runner in scoring position and 1 out for Coleman. Cardenas is 0 for 2. He's on deck. Yep. Here's the pitch. Got him! 2-2 in there at the knees, and Friend gets his 5th strikeout. Jim Bunning, who I think was who threw no hitters in both leagues, threw a perfect game for the Phillies. Leo Cardenas is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. 2 out. Pitch from Friend. Cardenas choppers 1 down to Grote, over to Stewart for the out, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. 6.5 stretch time here in Pittsburgh. They're 6 outs away from the finals. They lead the Reds 2-0. And if you like these style tournaments, or just want to have a specific game played for you, why not throw me something in my Patreon jar at patreon.com/Retro Sports Network. $10 gets you any game you want played in the Action PC library. And if you like these sort of tournaments, hey, you can sponsor one too. You can always get a hold of me. So patreon.com/Retro Sports Network. $5 tip, always appreciated. Helps bring more content to the channel. Nothing, of course, is ever required to watch anything on Retro Sports Network. All right. Well, thank you, Ricky. It'll be Smith, Mazeroski, and Friend for the Pirates here in the bottom of the 7th. Yeah, Ford especially. Chance, I would think. And Cott, of course, pitched Game 7 of the 65 World Series on 2 days rest. And I think you can put Tion and Tommy John in that category, too. So, pitching was pretty much in abundance in the 1960s. Smith is 1 for 2. He is singled and struck out. Nuxhall delivers, and Smith chops this one foul, third base side. And the count goes to 1-2 strikes. Nuxhall, as I said, has settled in after that first inning and kept the Pirates off the board since. 1-2. Got him! Strike 3 called, 1 away, and that's 5 for Nuxie. Here is Mazeroski. He's got himself a triple. 1 for 2. Is Ralph Terry better than Friend? Well, Ralph Terry pitched in a lot of big games and won a lot of them. You know, when you make 5 World Series in a row in a decade, I know they didn't win them all. They won 2. And there's a reason why I went with Terry over Ford when the Yankees played in 61. His whip was better. But that's strictly what I'm going with. The best available whip for a starter. Pitch to Mazeroski is into left field. Harper goes in. Cardenas and Johnson go out. And Cardenas will... Is that going to bloop? That's going to drop in between the 3 into that virtual Bermuda Triangle. And Mazeroski's on with a single. Only the 5th hit. And Friend here will bunt. Johnson and Coleman come in to have a conversation. Friend drops one down, and it rolls foul. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes, and so Friend will swing away here. After Mazeroski tries to steal, a throw down to second goes into center field. And Mazeroski is safe at third. Johnny Edwards threw that one away. I don't think he was expecting it. The pitch was strike 3, so it's a strikeout. Friend is out, 2 away, and so they were trying for the strike him out, throw him out, double play, and Mazeroski just motored to third, so they'll trade the out for the error. Pittsburgh will, and Mazeroski dances around third for Skinner, who is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Nuxhall, 27 batters, 6 2/3 innings, 2.70 the ERA in the game, so those runs were earned. 5 hits, he's walked 3 and struck out 6. Wow, an original set of 63s. Someone must love you. Nuxhall delivers. As soon as I hit the right button. Got him! So Skinner swung on and missed a curve. No runs, a hit in the air doesn't hurt. After 7, it's still Pittsburgh 2, Cincinnati nothing. Edwards probably a pinch hitter for Nuxhall, who in the end threw a very good game. And then Harper. Edwards is 0 for 2. Pitch from Friend. Liner to second. Mazeroski says, I got it. 1 away. No runs, 3 hits, an error for the Reds. They've left 4 on. Pirates 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and they've stranded 5. Let's see what they do with Nuxhall, who's 0 for 2. Art Shamsky will come in. Art, 260 in 65, 2 homers, and 10 RBI. That would be fun. By the way, if you're not subscribed to Kurt's channel, you should. He started up a new one, doing some pine tar. In fact, he's replaying my Sim 1982 World Series using pine tar. The Expos and the Orioles. It's just that kind of year. Pitch to Shamsky. Got him. The throw, but it got away from Smith. The throw down to Stewart is in time. 2 out. For Harper, who is 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out twice. Friend, through 27 batters, 96 pitches, 7 2/3 innings, 3 hits, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. And he's got a whole bunch of bagels on the board. You're going to need some serious cream cheese now. Pitch to Harper. Ground ball to Hogue. Across the diamond for the out. So Friend has a shutout through 8. We go to the 9th. Or the bottom of the 8th, rather, as Roger Craig takes the hill. Pittsburgh 2, Cincinnati nothing. So Roger Craig, 1 4 with 3 saves for the Reds in 65, a 3.64 ERA, 64 1/3 innings pitched, 74 hits, 6 homers. He walked 25 and struck out 30. And he'll face Grote, Stewart, and Clemente here in the 8th. And Friend will face Rose, Robinson, and Johnson in the 9th. Grote walked twice, is 0 for 1. Scored in the 1st. Chops one down to Coleman at first. He'll step on the bag himself, 1 away. People would like basic. Nothing wrong with that. Al, Red Sox fan. And there's a strong hint for what tonight's special is going to be. Plays basic, and it's very fun. Fun to watch. Stewart, 0 for 2. He also walked and scored. That came in the 1st. Craig will pitch, and there's a ground ball to Cardenas over to Coleman for the out. So 2 out for Clemente, who's been all that in a bag of chips for the Pirates today. 2 for 3. His 2-run double in the 1st is the only offense in the ballgame. Craig, father of the split finger, delivers. And Clemente will go 3 for 4. He punches that one into right center. And Roberto, looking forward to what he hopes is the championship. Pirates, I imagine, would be the top seed if the Red Sox win next Sunday. Or if the Orioles win. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? We did the 70s tournament, and it was Baltimore and Pittsburgh. And so you have a situation here in the bottom of the 8th with the 2-run lead that Pittsburgh could clinch the National League in that 60s tournament. Don Hoke is 0 for 3 with the strikeout. Roger Craig deals, and there's a ground ball to Cardenas. Flips it over to first, and that will set down the Pirates. No runs, a hit, and no errors. Clemente, 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored. So we go to the top of the 9th. Bob Friend working on a 3-hitter. It'll be Rose, Robinson, and Johnson. Rose 0 for 2. Friend not even getting you the fatigue warning. He is free and clear. You know what? Can you imagine 2 big elimination games for the Pirates? I mean, every game is an elimination game until you get to the final. And we've not seen Elroy face. He's warming, though. Rose hits a ground ball to Mazeroski over to first for the out. So 2 outs away, and now bring up Frank Robinson, who was 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Be the first time in the 3 games that a National League home team has won a ball game. Pitch to Robbie, and there's a liner into center field. Robbie says, "Stop it with that." And there's a 1-out single for Deron Johnson, who's 0 for 3. So tying run is at the plate. Face warming up along the right field line. Actually, I would imagine it'll be the left field line, so the pitcher, so that it could be seen in the dugout. Anywho, Friends pitch, and there's a ground ball to Grote. Mazeroski for one, over to Stewart. And is that the ball game? Yes, it is. 6-4-3. And the Pirates have won the National League half of the bracket. They shut out the Cincinnati Reds 2-0. And so the Pirates, 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Bob Friend throws a 4-hitter, no runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. And so the co-MVPs is going to be Roberto Clemente. His 2-run double in the first was it. 3 for 4 with 2 RBI. And, of course, you can't overlook Bob Friend's 4-hitter, 9 innings, 4 hits, a walk and 6 strikeouts on just 106 pitches. He could have thrown 138. Nuxhall, after that one shaky inning, did his job. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 3, so 8 runners over 7 is not bad. He struck out 7, and Roger Craig surrendered the single in his lone inning. 13 pitches, 9 strikes, and 4 balls. So Pittsburgh will go to the final with 95 wins. I can tell you that if the Red Sox beat the Orioles next Sunday in this slot, the Pirates would host the final. But if the Orioles beat the Red Sox with 109 wins, they will host the final. So in any event, the Pirates have been put into 2 of these tournaments, and they've made the finals of both. How about that? What an impressive effort for Bob Friend and company. And so that'll do it for this one. I'm Ron Juckett. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Sunday. We'll see you tonight around 8 o'clock for a very special big event program right here on Retro Sports Network. Not telling you what it is, but you'll be impressed. Until then, we'll talk to you later tonight.